There's that nice little stretch there. Back here for the post-race recap for High Rocks Vegas, the pro solo versus our pro doubles over here. We're going to keep the results to the end for the reveal. Yeah, man, I can't talk today. To start off, we're going to go station by station. The ski ergs. How do we feel on first station, number one? Actually, no, let's roll back. The first lap. How do we feel on the first lap?
I felt great. I mean, it's hard to say, like, if we, I mean, yeah, we did push it a little bit, but also that wasn't a full kilometer. It was like probably, 0.4 miles that first run?
Yeah, that first lap was really fast. I think despite saying we're going to take it easy on the first lap, I mean, it was so fast. It looked down at the time. It was like 2:40 something, and I was like, what happened?
The good news is y'all actually did the first lap correct, unlike the people from most of the other races that did an extra lap on the first lap. So we're going to say it's a win. It's a win for the first lap. Went out a little fast, but like still controlled, which is good. But we didn't do any extra laps. All right, so going into the ski ergs, how do we do?
I think we did exactly what we wanted to do on ski erg. Like good pace, good time, felt good. But I think, we still got like our heart rate's a little elevated early on, despite trying to hold back. So that's probably the one thing we did.
We're in the 340s for our sim, right?
Yeah, that's a solid. I mean, three, anything sub 4 is going to be really solid to start out. I think that y'all are prepared with your times up. I don't have mine, but I think I was around like 4:16 for it. So
4:17, I think, for yours.
Yeah, actually, you should pull up my results. There we go. We'll pull yours up.
I have all your splits here too.
They know my splits better than I do, actually. 4:08. So I was at 4:08. Y'all were at 3:56. You said
3:54.
3:54. All right, so y'all starting out with a little bit of a lead on me here. Yeah. We're going to come back and talk about all the runs at the end. So Station 2, our sled pushes. I've already done one video on my opinion on these. I'll give a recap. Jordan, how do you feel on the sled push?
I was shocked at how sticky it was and like the weight. I mean, I was moving it, but it wasn't like our sim at Hawk where like we were flying with it. Like we did like a 130 sled push in our sim, but like I think what was it,
253 in competition,
which still like that's not a bad time at all in sled push, but like I was expecting around 2.
Yeah, it was really sticky. Like, yeah, we were moving the sleds in practice at pro weight, no problem, but it just felt like those sleds barely moved. So,
and then what did y'all do strategy wise as far as how you were doing the switch offs, how often you were pushing it? Was it until one person stops, or what did you do for them?
The plan was to do half lengths, but I think we kind of just, because it wasn't moving like we expected it to, we kind of just waited to see like until someone slowed down, then the other person took over.
And then Andy, what was the time comparison for you and for me?
So we were 2:53 and you were 3:35. Yeah.
All right, so y'all got a solid like 40 close to 50-second lead on me now here and all the sled pushes. I got bodied. I got walled. I did not think that I was going to be able to finish the sled push. I had not touched the sled weight until the warm-up zone, and that was a mistake. I literally did not think that I was going to be able to push it, and by the time I got to it out there, just like they said, the carpets felt a little bit stickier, but still, the first couple tries, I tried to move it, and it just wasn't going anywhere. The time ended up being faster than I thought it was. I thought I was out there for like 5 minutes. So 3:30, I'm actually kind of happy with for how it felt. I thought I wasn't moving at all. And then for the sled pull.
That was probably the most difficult station. We finished in 5 minutes, which was really slow. And I felt like that was even stickier. Something about just, I don't know. It's one of those stations that we came out thinking, okay, that's where we're going to make an improvement for the next one. Yeah. Like really practice that. I think it's just, it was just like difficult to move the sleds. Could be technique. It could be whatever, we won't make excuses. It was just hard.
Yeah. I honestly think this is where I ruined my race personally on this station. My technique for sled pull already isn't the best. And I did hand over hand. And I feel like I just completely cooked myself, to be honest. I remember that run. I remember looking at Andy and Andy being like, dude, I'm dying. And then I was like, dude, I'm dying too. And I think I think this is part of the reason why we'll get to it, but down the road, like my obliques were shot.
Just like the push, the pull was pretty rough for me. I started pulling, and usually I can do the hand over hand. When I did Anaheim, the open weight, I was able to hand over hand, get like a couple little body leans into it, and barely had to step back at all.
Yep.
I was kind of anti the walking it back method because I didn't feel like it was necessary and it wasn't that fast. Just like the push, I was just trying to do everything I could to actually move the sled this time. So I was just trying to pull it back. I was doing hand over hand. I was pulling back. I was taking baby steps. Like it was rough. So mine was 5.17.
You were 5.17. That's not bad.
And then
What
y'all
was
were
ours?
5.
Oh,
5. Okay,
Yeah.
It
so
took us 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
it was I mean that was a doozy. If again, I'm happy with 5. I thought I was out there for like 7 minutes moving that thing. Still, station work. Y'all are steadily creeping up here.
Yeah.
Y'all are a solid like minute, a little over a minute ahead of me at this point on the stations. Afterwards, we had our preppy broad jumps.
Yeah, I actually think like we did those pretty well. I don't know what our time was.
I think we did a good job on the burpee broad jumps. I think I think we were feeling I think if we make an improvement, it would be to try to increase our jump length.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like
That's
we
a
were
shot
we were
on
doing
me.
too many burpees because we weren't jumping far enough, and I think it was a little bit of a confidence thing, like thinking we were going to slip on the carpet, so we shortened our lengths, and I think that was a bit of a mistake.
I mean, if you look at the reel that I posted, I'm absolutely dying behind you, Andy. So I don't know I don't know what you're talking about. I do need
that
to
was me
work.
too.
I do need to work on my burpee broad jump technique. And Zach,
For how tall you are,
Zach
you should
last night
be.
said I have a trash technique. So
I said those words verbatim. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. I was not being gentle on those.
I mean, I'm doing like 1.5 length. I should be doing 2.5 to 3, right?
Yeah. I think my jumps might have been like twice as long
Yeah,
as
they
yours.
were. You were
Yeah.
jumping. You were covering 3 lengths in that first 50
so-
meters or whatever it was.
But that's technique stuff. Like you got the power behind it, so it's just getting the technique behind it as well. What do we have for the comparison?
So you were 3:24 and we were 2:33.
So
About a minute.
even that being said, like that's an extra minute that y'all had. Y'all still moved a lot quicker through them,
Yeah.
even with the shorter jumps on it.
Yeah, it worked out fine. I'd say one of the things that just an overall reflection of the partnership is that we had a plan and things didn't quite go according to plan, but what we did really well was communicate the entire race.
Yeah.
And we stepped up and stepped in when our partner needed us to, and that
That's
was
what
the
we like.
best way to move the race forward.
If
So
we were mic'd up, all you would hear throughout the race is switch, switch.
Cool. So got an
Now-
extra
now
minute there.
we're
We're
like, what,
sitting
2 minutes?
at least 2 minutes, maybe a little bit over,
Yeah.
as far as the lead goes. All right, next one, row. Row's kind of the recovery one. I took gels out with me this time, and that was one where I took the gel like right before that one to give a little bit energy boost, give a little bit of fueling for the back end of the race. And the row again, it's a kind of a chance to catch your breath a little bit based on all the other stations
Yeah.
that felt like they were just death embodied. So for me, that one just felt like super smooth. I actually had Jordan at least behind me, screaming at me, which helped a good bit. Keep my stroke count down and keep that speed up.
Towards the end of burpees, I was like, oh shit, he's like redlining for sure right now. And then during the row, I was like, okay, he's coming back a little. These rows for us, we stuck to our plan.
yeah,
Hey, there we go.
We stuck to our plan, and I don't know what our time was, but I felt really good during it.
I think it was a really good plan. We thought that in advance Jordan would be a little stronger on the row, and so he took a bit more of the row. So he started, I came in the middle, and then he finished, which was great because I took a gel during that time. And then when I did my portion, I was cranking. So I thought that actually felt pretty good. Jordan decided not to take a gel. You can discuss whether that was a good or bad idea. We were 4:06 on that, and then 4:16.
4:16. So only an extra 8-second lead for y'all on that.
Yeah.
Still crushing through. But yeah, what'd you think about not mid race fueling?
I didn't fuel because I didn't practice it at all, and I was like, okay, if I just do this during the race, and for some reason my digestive system isn't happy with it, like that could be much worse than me actually fueling.
All right, next one up was farmer's carry. I think it was pretty quick and simple. I know, at least for me, I picked him up. I had to make a couple little stops. Honestly, it was more heart rate than grip in that case.
Yeah.
Like my heart rate got up a lot more than I thought. But I did a whole bunch of grip work beforehand, and so I had to make a couple stops. I know that I need to be able to run That was probably
Yeah.
like, as far as ranking wise, I think I was like 229 in the rankings.
I mean, I remember like your race again where I was just screaming at you, "Don't drop it again! Don't drop it again!" Farmers for us, you started right, and then you did the first lap. I did like 75% of the second one, then I dropped right. But
Yeah.
did you run? I can't remember.
I didn't run. I power walked, and
Yeah.
I think that's something I want to try to do differently because I can run with them, and I think I want to try to run for Miami.
Because I ran and like it killed my grip versus I could power walk with that thing much longer. I feel like than if I run with it.
If you can shave 20 seconds off from
Makes
doing
a
the
difference.
run, it does make a difference. And if grip isn't the problem, then it's going to be focused on keeping the heart rate down and being able to maintain a low heart rate through that, because the run after the farmer's carry almost has no impact on the run.
Exactly.
So if you're able to run into it, run through it, and run out of it, you're definitely going to shave some time. What was our race comparison here?
Let's see. We were 144 on farmer's carry, and you were 215. Yeah.
215. So there's another 30-second ad there.
Yeah.
So we're sitting around that 230, 240 lead so far. On to lunges. I think I my lunges were better this time, I think. I took like a nice steady approach. I wasn't trying to do anything too fast. I just wanted to go through because I know last time I did it, I was struggling a bit. But I thought they were honestly like pretty smooth. Definitely not the most challenging. Felt pretty like recovered going into them. And then I did like a step in between every, just to try to keep my heart rate down, get that little assist instead of going straight from one
Like
into another.
Pause. Yeah.
And I'll let you lead this one out, Han. Y'all's strategy for the lunges.
Yeah, I think lunges were okay. You know, they felt for me it felt good. Actually, I think like right before the lunges, I started to feel like a little twinge in the leg, like not a full cramp, but I was like, uh-oh. But I think that really helped flush things out and felt good about it. I think pacing wise, we did pretty good. It was just like switch when we felt like we needed to switch. I think at that point, though, Jordan was hurting.
I was yelling switch
He
a
was
lot.
hurting.
I was hurting. Yeah, my obliques were shot. So like every time I stood up, I could feel it. And then I feel like Andy did a lot more of the lunge station than I did.
That's why y'all got a team. Is you step in when the other person's hurting a little bit, give them a little extra recovery.
Sessions could have been a lot quicker, like passing the bag back and forth.
Maybe
Because I think I showed you that video, Zach, and you're like, that could be quicker.
I remember there being a little bit of a gap there. Again, those things do add up. Like if you're doing a lot of switches, they add up more. But if you have a quick transition, it can be like fractions of a second. And maybe you have like a few seconds to add on. But if you have that like slow transition, it adds 1 to 2 seconds, 3 seconds each time. That'll stack up pretty quick.
I didn't think that the weight in pro for lunges made that big of a difference in comparison to the sleds.
Yeah, I would agree on that. The 20 versus the 30 kg.
Not that big of a difference.
I think it was when I first started practicing with it just to get used to it. But by the time the race came, it wasn't too bad. You could just kind of hoist it up and go with it. What do we have for the time comparisons then?
All right, you were 406 for lunges, and we were 334.
Okay, so another 30-second ad there. Sitting around that 330 lead on the station so far, which is not insignificant. It's a pretty good amount of time on them. And then wall balls. Solo on the wall balls. I'm gonna let y'all talk about your wall balls first because I need to recover still from them.
The plan was Andy was going to do a little more wall balls and I was going to do a little more of the row. But it ended up being completely even, right?
Yeah.
So Andy started off with 20 unbroken. I did 30, then he did 30, and then I finished with 20. And honestly, I think maybe we got 2 to 3 no reps. I can't remember, but it felt really solid to me.
I had a few more no reps than that.
It felt really good. I think, we had minimal no reps, which was nice. I think we were just ready to get over that finish line, and we were pushing really hard at the end. I do remember just like looking down and thinking, okay, we're just gonna red line, do whatever we need to get here. I think I started to see a little red toward the end, but I was like, just gonna push through.
I was doing a lot of looking down. I was hurting on those. Yeah, the wall balls. I think I went 15 to 20. I think 15 reps for the first one, and I was trying to pace out about 15 to 20 each time, and I had nothing left by the time I got there. I was doing like maybe 5 or 6 at a time. I was doing everything I could just to get the ball to the target. I think I maybe had like 5 to 7 no reps, but it was literally because like the ball just didn't even make it up to the target because I was cooked at that point. And I definitely know I got passed by a few people during the wall balls, but I was dying. I was hurting. I was red line. I thought I was gonna collapse during that. How'd y'all do? How many extra minutes did y'all get on me there? It's got to have been a few.
So we did wall balls in 3:46, and you were 6:15.
Yeah, so couple extra minutes, 2.5 minutes there. So coming out of the stations, our station review, we're a solid 5 to 6 minute lead there. Now, when it came down to running, what was y'all's average run pace here?
Average pace was 450. 450 was our average pace.
This is actually the one thing I do remember about my stats because I always remember my running stuff. I had a 357 for my average pace. So, I picked up a little bit of time on y'all for the runs. A little bit of time on y'all for the runs.
That's a full 8 minutes if you average that out over the 8 runs.
It's exactly 8 minutes when we come down to a 6-minute lead on the stations. I guess we might as well just go ahead and do the reveal. So the total times at the end, I had a 1:10:16,
and we had a 1:12:23.
So there it was, about 2:23, about 2 minutes. I did manage to pull ahead solely due to the runs, but this is where we expected I would have a faster run. They were going to have faster stations. We knew that was going to be the tie. The question was, could I beat on the runs to beat their stations? They got 6 minutes on the stations on me. I mean, that's a good amount there. And we definitely have some wiggle room to get y'all faster on the runs, which means the next time we have this competition, I'm going to be a lot harder pressed to get those station times down.
I do think our average run time would have been lower if I didn't cramp. I mean, both of my obliques, especially on runs, like I was like sucking, making some crazy noises looking at Andy, and Andy was just like, dude, like just slow down if you have to.
He was doing a lot of sucking on the runs. Doing a lot of sucking on the runs. Fairness, God. Me too. I think the worst one for me was after the sled push and the sled pull again. Yeah. Those just wrecked me so much. My quads were cooked after the push, and then my obliques too. Like I was starting to cramp after the sled pulls, and it was to a point where I like almost did not think I was going to be able to finish like after those 2 stations.
So, yeah, our average run pace was slower than we had hoped for, and definitely slower than we were capable of.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest reflections I have, so he cramped a bit. Fortunately, I didn't cramp this time, but I made a huge mistake. So my mistake started before the race.
Not enough running?
I did not. Funny. I did not warm up properly before the race, and that was a huge mistake. I just did not get my heart rate high enough in warm up. I did not give myself enough time before the race, and so I overshot my heart rate, like going from basically like zone 1 or less to race pace, and I overshot into high zone 4, zone 5. I remember at some point mid-race, I looked down at my Garmin and it said 2:07. And I was like, that number is not even possible for my age, I don't think.
Yeah, no, that's not. You would have actually been like on the ground. Jordan would have been like dragging your body across the line if you were at 2:07. Yeah. So
the plan is to absolutely not let that happen for our next race. But we have a new goal, right? So you got us about 110. So we're thinking we can hit sub 70. We can beat the 110.
I think y'all can drop 2 minutes down. Yeah. And for what it's worth, they got to race on Friday, so I knew what my time was going in Sunday. I knew what I had to beat. And when I was coming in for the final laps, when I was coming in for the wall balls, I saw what my time was, and I was like, okay, I've got, I think, 10 minutes to spare on this. Like, I just need to not die. And granted, I did die a good bit, but not quite enough to fall behind.
I was timing. I had my Garmin going while you were racing, and I was like, shit, he could actually beat his solo open time if he has an insane, like, wall ball station. Like, you were, I think you came into wall balls at, like, 64, 65 or something like that.
If I had somewhat decent wall balls, I would have gotten really close to my open, open time. But yeah, no, I just died. I died. I died on him. But now the new bar is set. So I had to beat your 112. I knew it going in. I brought the bar back down 110-16. Y'all have another race in 5 weeks going to Miami. So y'all have a new bar to try and come back and get under that 70 for the new race. You know what you need to work on.
Yep.
Your stations are solid. But work on those transitions. It might shave a few seconds there. But really over the next month, focusing on the threshold runs, some of the speed sharpening, just working on the run conditioning. You got 4 weeks. It's enough time to drop some time on the run. So final words, starting with Andy. What you got?
Final word. So despite all the things we just talked about, I'm really proud of us. I think we did a really good job. We made a great team, and we PR'd the race despite not quite hitting the goal we set out for. Like, this was the fastest race we've ever run officially, and this was the first time we did pro. So I'm overall happy with the result, and I'm confident that we're gonna hit our next goal for Miami in about a month.
Jordan, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to look up and see 72 on the board after the race, which is our fastest time, but more is required, and I expect us to be sub 70. So I'm not necessarily happy with the result, but like I am happy that we PR'd, if that makes sense. More is required though.
Yeah. But now you got something to actually chase down. Now you know, like 70 was kind of that target that we were all trying to get under. And now you've got about 5 more weeks for one more attempt.